We'll take a look at the Middle East, where panic is soaring in Rafah as desperate Palestinians decide whether to flee in the last refuge in Gaza. This comes as Israel draws up plans for a ground offensive that the United Nations aid chief has warned could lead to a slaughter. Meanwhile, a growing number of countries and international organizations are still working to convince Israel to halt its planned offensive. Recall that the South African government made an urgent request to the International Court of Justice Tuesday to determine if Israel's extended military actions in its southern Gazan city require it to use its power to prevent further imminent breach of the rights of Palestinians in Gaza. There is more in this report.
Reports say Israel has been bombarding Rafah with airstrikes for weeks, with the country stating that it is committed to a ground offensive as the alternative. It remains unclear how or when a ground offensive would unfold, as uncertainty is adding to anxiety among Palestinians in Rafah about where to go and what to do. Meanwhile, the IDF has revealed footage that it says shows Hamas chief in Gaza, Yahya Sinwar, walking through a tunnel underneath Gaza. This is the first time Sinwar has been seen since October 7th. Recall that Palestinian media reported that Israeli forces raided the city of Jenin and its camp for the second time on Tuesday, a few hours after a similar incursion at dawn. The Palestinian news agency said that a Palestinian was seriously wounded by Israeli occupation forces gunfire during the storming of the Jenin camp. In another development, White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby has spoken about the right way the Israeli Defense Forces should move forward in Rafah, which involves an accounting of all the civilians who are in that small stretch of land. Mr. Kirby stated this when he joined White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre for a briefing.
We have consistently conveyed our concerns to our Israeli counterparts, including the Prime Minister, about moving forward in Rafah in a major way without due consideration of civilians. And we have consistently conveyed privately and publicly, but privately too, our concerns about the need to continue to look for ways to reduce civilian casualties. As the President said yesterday, there's been too many. Any credible plan that could be executable would have to take into account their physical movement, safe movement, as well as proper subsistence for them, food, water, medicine, access to health care, and be able to stay together as family units. So all of that would have to be factored in.
As the Israel-Hamas war continues, a group of medical and nursing students have established a medical point near the tent to provide medical services and follow up on the conditions of the displaced under the supervision of the Palestinian Red Crescent.